The top of the John Hancock building is a rectangle whose length is 50 feet more than the width. The perimeter is 520 feet. Find the length and width of the rectangle and then find the area of the rectangle. So let's look at part A. It's probably the harder of the two parts. And so what do we know here? Let's draw a picture. So there's our rectangle. Let's label this. The top length is 50 feet more than the width. So if we've got a width here, we'll call that the width. The length is 50 feet more than the width. So how can I write this in equation? The length, L, equals 50 more than the width. Is that 50W? No. 50 plus W, right? Or W plus 50. I'll write it like that. 50 feet more than the width, right? And the perimeter is 520. So the distance around P, called the P perimeter, is 520 feet. Okay? So how do these connect? Well, the perimeter is just the sum of all these, right? So W plus 50, the length plus the width, plus the width plus the length. It's sometimes expressed P equals 2, usually it's L first, 2L plus 2W. And now we're just going to plug in. So I'm going to plug in W plus 50 in for L. Because I need to have one equation with one unknown. So we have 520 equals 2L, which is 50 plus W, and then plus 2W. Okay? That's the hardest part of the problem, I think, is making that connection. So you need to know the perimeter of a rectangle, P equals 2L plus 2W, and then plug in the given information. Now what do we have? Now we just solve this equation for W, which is generally the easier part of the problem. So we're going to distribute through. So distribute the 2 on both of those. We'll bring our 520 down. So that's going to be 2W plus 100 plus 2W. Combine some like terms. I've got 2 W's I can combine. At the same time, I'm going to subtract 100 from both sides just to save myself a little room. I'm getting a little kind of cramped down here. So those 100s cancel. Left-hand side, I have 420. And the right-hand side, 2W plus 2W is 4W. Looks a little bit better now, doesn't it? To solve for W, what do? That 4 is connected to W by multiplication, so divide both sides by 4. And what are we get 105, and that's, we are in, what are units? Feet. So if the width is 105 feet, what does that mean the length is? The length is 50 feet more than the width. So you could just plug that in, or you could just kind of do it in your head, right? 50 plus 105, the length is 155 feet. And see if this makes sense. Add this up and see if it works. So it is 105 times 2. So P equals 2 times 105 plus 2 times 155. And you want to see, does that equal out to 420? So 2 times 105 is 210. And then 2 times 155 is what? So 155 times 2, that's going to be 310. And 310 plus 210 is 520 feet, which is what we know it is. Okay? So that's the first part, and probably the harder of the two parts. The second part was to find the area. How do you remember how to find the area of a rectangle? Area is length times width. So it's just going to be 105 feet times 155 feet. And that actually should be flipped around, but that's okay. It doesn't matter what order we multiply in. So what is 105 times 155? And that'll be your answer. And we get 16,275 units or feet squared. So we could have put the feet in here. So you can see feet times feet is feet squared. Area will always have square units. just like volume will have cubic units.